My grandmother would hear voices, and there were just things that were going on where she wasn't able to sleep all night and would be up yelling oftentimes. And my parents would tell me that, there's evil spirits following her, or that there was something that she did in her past life. As part of the Buddhist culture is that we believe in reincarnation. And I remember thinking, if there's something she did in her past life, how can we even address that now? Growing up in the Asian community, we didn't talk about feelings, we didn't talk about emotions. And I think from my parents' perspective, I get it too, because my dad was a refugee from the Vietnam War, and coming over by boat, they were in these conditions that, where it was life or death. And because they gave up so much of their life and their country, coming to a new place, and they went through so many challenges that it's hard for them to see or understand that there's mental health challenges. Growing up with family members that didn't know how to address their own emotions or understand that their experiences were traumatic, that it did impact them in a way. To me, I see it as, how do we teach someone a language that we don't even know? And getting them to describe their feelings in words when maybe they don't have the language for it. So that language barrier is a huge piece too. I finally come to realize that, it's not that my parents didn't want to communicate or share, open up, it's that they didn't have the language. I honestly didn't know what trauma meant until my mid-20s when I was a teacher and I talked to someone and a parent who brought up the word trauma, and I had to go look it up. But I think this new generation, we understand what generational trauma looks like. We understand that us not being validated impacted our emotional needs, not having our emotional needs met. I just had a family crisis where I had to find housing for my grandmother, and I was just getting overwhelmed with school, with working, with taking care of my 3 younger siblings and my family members. And I finally checked into the counseling and psychological services, where I told them what was going on, and I felt like my own mental health was declining to where I was having these experiences that I wasn't sure if it was a dream or if it was real. I don't know if it was from lack of sleep, high stress, all the things. But after telling them about what was going on, they handed me a NAMI brochure and just said, you should check them out. I signed up for the family-to-family education class, and that's when my life changed, because that first class where I got to go around and share, and I heard everyone in the room share about their family members, about their experiences. I sat there crying, not because of sadness, but out of relief of finally there's a group of people who understand what it's like to live with someone with mental health challenges, what it is to go through these things. And it was like they were all telling my story, but in their own version, in their own way of it. I walk so that others don't have to be alone. I walk for my grandmother, who's no longer here with us today, but she was the purpose and the reason that I found NAMI.